We're now going to go ahead and stylize this. We're going to change colors, maybe make these look more like buttons, give some padding, center this on the page, all those kinds of things. But before we can begin doing all that, we need to make a color scheme. So I'm going to figure out what color this green is. I've gone ahead and opened this up in Illustrator. So if you don't have it open yet, you can go ahead and pause it here and open up your foods header. And then I'm going to just go ahead and click on the text. And that's going to give me the color over here on the left in the fill or over here in the appearance. And I can double click on the fill over here on the left, and that's going to open up the color picker. This will then give me the hexadecimal number of this color, which is what I'm looking for. And I'm going to go ahead and copy that. You can right click, copy it, or Control C on your keyboard to paste it. Control C on your keyboard to copy it, sorry. Click OK, and then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to go ahead and go to Adobe Color. So if you need to go ahead and get to Adobe Color real quick, go ahead and pause this and come to this website. In the base color of C, I'm going to go ahead and pop in the hexadecimal number I just copied by pasting, and I'm going to hit Enter, and you'll see that all the colors around it will then adjust. I'm going to go ahead and look for a color scheme that I like based off of these colors, and I'm going to try and find something that looks appetizing yet gives me what I'm looking for my color scheme for my website. And remember what your two colors are, or what your two foods are, like what's your least favorite food and what's your most favorite food. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and do a triadic color scheme. My most favorite food is Mazithra, which is mainly white because it's just pasta, but it has green garnish on it usually, and so that's why I have the green. And then my least favorite food is balsamic vinegar, so brown works pretty well for that. So I'm going to go ahead and take this color scheme, and then what I suggest you also do is take a snip of this. So go down and open up your snip and sketch tool if you need to, and then go ahead and create a new snip and sketch, or you can just hit Shift Windows S on your keyboard and go ahead and take a snip of those colors so that you have them. And then what I suggest is you save this to your drive and make it so that you have access to your files. So when you're in your files, you always have your color scheme. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and save this file, and I'm going to go ahead and go into my downloads folder, my Digital Design 1 folder, my foods website folder, and then because this is something that I'm using as a reference but will not be necessarily be using on my website, I'm going to go ahead and go into my not for web folder, and I'm going to name this color scheme. That way I have it for future reference and can come back to it. Okay, so then the next thing I want to do is if I go into Dreamweaver, I'm going to go to my style sheet here up at the top in my index, and I'm going to take my background color and I'm going to delete it because I want this to see through to the background. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that and make it so that it becomes see-through, and then we'll see later whatever's on the background will actually come through on the page. And the next thing I want to do is go ahead and start adjusting these backgrounds of the article and the nav and the footer. And I'm going to actually make the article and the nav have almost the same color. But these colors that I got from Adobe Color are pretty bright. I don't know if I'd want to use these base colors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this like light brown here, and I'm going to copy that hexadecimal number. And then I'm going to go to a new website that we haven't gone to before, called hexcolortool.com. So if you need to pause the video here to get here, go ahead and do so. So on hexcolortool.com, I'm going to go down to the color option right here. I'm going to paste my color in. And what's cool about it is I have my key value right here, or my black value, and I can actually lighten this color a lot to get a very, very light tone version of this color. And so I'm going to go ahead and lighten it a lot to make it more like a creamish color. And then once I do that and find the color that I like, I'm going to go ahead and copy the hexadecimal number of that color. Going back to Dreamweaver, now that I have a light version of that color, I'm going to go ahead and make the article have a background color that is that color, put a hashtag at the beginning of it to notify that this is a hexadecimal color, and then I'm going to go to my nav and make that a slightly darker version. So I'm going to go and get just a little bit of a darker version and copy that hexadecimal number, go to my Dreamweaver and paste that on my nav. putting a hashtag at the beginning of it. I have a lightly darker version. Then I'm going to go back and do an even lighter version, a very, very light version, not pure white, but not like super creamy. And I'm going to grab that hexadecimal number and we're going to apply that to the background of this whole page. So to apply something to the background of the entire page, we need to think about what tag controls all of the page and how it looks. Well, in my source code, what tag are we putting all of the elements into to preview on the page? Well, we're doing that inside the body tag. If I go over to the 9 and I collapse the body, you'll see that everything that's on my page that the user actually sees is inside the body tag. So in the CSS, can I call upon the body tag to edit it and change the background? Of course. So let's go to the food style sheet. I'm going to go down to the bottom. It doesn't matter what order these are listed in. And I'm going to go ahead and call upon the body tag by typing body. And then I'm going to go ahead and open up my squiggly brackets and do a background dash color of pound and then the color I just made in the HTML color picker. And you'll see there will be a slight change and it will come through the header and the header image because the header does not have a background color. So it's going to take on the color of whatever's behind it. All right, so if I go to live view, you can kind of see the changes here. I'm going to go ahead and make my footer be green, a pretty bright green actually to match my header. I'm actually going to use the exact same color. So I'm going to go back to Adobe Color, grab that hex number, come back to Dreamweaver, and in my split view, go down to my footer and adjust the background color to be hashtag and then that color. So now I have this footer that exists down here. Alrighty, so now I've got some great colors going on. I'm going to go ahead and save my style sheet. So File, Save. And what I'd like you to do at this point is because you've already navigated to your files over here, I want you to open up like favorite food. Favorite food, you'll notice, has all the same changes. I want you to think about why and tell me.